Toledo's news leader. This is WTOL News 11, your morning Saturday.
Hey, just imagine cruising down a country hillside at 70 miles an hour on your back with an inch between you and the road. That's exactly what our next guest does for a living, and it's also why he beat out some 13,000 applicants to be one of McDonald's global casting stars. Here with us in studio this morning is David Dean. David, thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks.
You are a street luger, right?
Yeah.
That's what you do. What is that?
A street luge is basically real similar to an ice luge. You're laying on your back, feet first, racing down hills. Other than being on the ice, we're on the street, so real similar tie-in, but just a little different.
Now, when you watch the Olympics, you see the luging. They're on sort of that slide thing, if you will, which kind of keeps them in place. When you're on the street, though, you can go pretty much anywhere, I'd imagine, right? I would think it's a little even more dangerous, isn't it?
Maybe a little bit more. When they're in the ice, they're not going to come out of the chute on the street. You are on a regular road. The roads are closed. The race is usually about a mile, 2 miles long. You're racing 4 wide, but instead of wrecking on the wall and coming down, you can go off the road, so it can be a little bit more dangerous.
Have you ever wrecked?
I have.
All the good ones have wrecked, right? That's what you say, right?
You can't race for too long without wrecking every now and then, but actually it's a pretty safe sport. For going 70 to 80 miles an hour, down a 1.5 mile road, the wrecks are few and far in between and nothing too serious usually.
You ever think about that when you're driving down the highway and you're going 70, 80 miles an hour? You think to yourself, wow, this is how I usually travel?
When you're going 65 miles an hour on the freeway, next time you're doing it, think of me an inch off the ground doing the same thing.
Good stuff. Let's talk about this McDonald's Global Casting Stars. What's that all about?
Last year, McDonald's did a global casting search. They were looking for 25 people around the world that fit the I'm Lovin' It spirit, their campaign. What they did is an online global casting. You got to go online. You filled out a 100-word essay about why you're passionate about what you do, and also send in a picture of you in whatever sport or whatever activity you were involved with.
This video, what, your photo shoot here, right?
Yeah. Yeah, once they picked the 25 people from around the world, they flew us out to London in August for the photo shoot with Nick Clemens, who does all the photography for all the packaging for McDonald's, so it's a pretty good experience.
Very cool stuff. How did you first get into this, though, this street luging? What made you say, hey, this is something I want to do?
Well, it's been around since the 70s, but it got real popular in about the mid-90s with the X and Gravity games. I'd seen it in the games and thought it looked like something kind of interesting, kind of out there. I thought I'd give it a try. And I actually had an X Games qualifying race that came to Southern Ohio. I was 14 years old. I thought I'd give it a shot. I went and raced amateur and did fairly well. I was able to come back the next year and continue to race, continue to pick up sponsors until now it's what I do.
Were you good at this right from the start, or was there sort of a learning curve?
I was not bad. For 14 years old, I think I did pretty solid. But from there, I picked up real quick. Having such a big race so close to home, I was able to race against some of the guys that I'd seen on TV. That kind of got me into the sport. So from there, I was able to get connections and start racing. And now I travel around the world and do a 6-race series that takes me to Africa, Asia, Europe, and here.
Takes you around the world. Very cool. What's your advice? I'm sure a lot of the youngsters, especially watching this morning, are probably thinking, hey, I think I'd like to try that. I want to do it. How can people get involved in this?
It's a little difficult, especially in Toledo and Columbus area. It's a little flat, but there is still the race in Ohio. It's in Southern Ohio. It's called the Demons of Downhill. You can go to the demonsofdownhill.com and look at some of the information. It's an open race to anybody. It has rules, regulations as far as what you need for equipment, and it's a pretty small community, but there are a lot of racers here in Ohio.
Okay, David Dean. He is the one of the cast members of Global Casting Stars, and he is a professional and very good, from what we understand, street luger. David, thanks for being here this morning. We appreciate it. Hey, that's it for this first hour of your morning Saturday. We're coming back right after a quick break, though, with a whole lot more news, weather, sports, and interviews for you. It is just about 9 o'clock right now. You're watching News 11, your morning Saturday, 51 degrees outside right now.